Hello and welcome to Coding with Carl, the show where we try not to get crushed under the weight of Java and Android development, crushed and lifeless like crisps under bison. Today we have a number of things to clear up. We are on episode 15 now, and if you've missed any of the previous episodes of the show, they're all available on YouTube if you look at the Coding with Carl channel and the Zero to Android playlist within that channel. Now I must apologise because I am slightly sick today. I have a cold, so I'll be a little bit bunged up for the duration of this stream. We are in a pretty good place right now. We have some basic functionality resembling what we want to have in the first version of this application. And yesterday we fixed some bugs which were causing issues for us. However, things got really laggy, and that's the first thing I want to sort out, and I suspect it's because every time we showed this view we are throwing out a bunch of crap into the log here, and I think that may be the reason for the lag. So I'm going to go through first of all and start ripping out all my log entries that I put in there for debug purposes. That one's okay. This one is in a loop, so that one needs to go. And we are in the today adapter and the today activity, so I suspect that there's something in here as well. No. Where's that color coming from? Not sure. Let's see if it does it this time. Okay, so we didn't get any that time, which is good. Okay, let me just have a quick browse through the rest of these and make sure that we haven't got any massive log problems. That's okay. Goal adapter. Okay, that's fine. And finally, task adapter. Yeah, I think we're okay. We're good. Yep, so that was the first thing on my to-do list. I can get rid of that. Second of all, I've been doing a little bit more digging into this color business, and apparently there is a function here, context.getColor, that takes a resource and turns it into a color. Now, yesterday we had some issues with using primary text dark, and I think that's because that means this is the primary text on a dark background, which makes it white, and that was why we lost all of our colors yesterday. So what I'm going to do is use this instead. Okay, so here we go, primary text color. I think we're just going to change this to text color now, to be honest, and we're going to make it, get rid of this and this context.getColor instead, and then we can do this and primary text. No, we're going to go with tertiary text light, which I believe means tertiary text on a light background. Try that. Now there's a problem here. Requires API level 23. At this point in time, I don't care about that. I've said before, I'm not really interested in supporting ancient versions of Android with this app, but I do need to figure out how to suppress that error. Does that work? Primary text color. Yes, of course. Of course it doesn't work because that is now text color. Okay. And I'm going to say, let's create another one. And we're going to call this one active text. No. Let's call that vacant text color, and then we'll have a occupied text color. Equals this dot context, not context. and then we'll do android.r.color, and then we'll do .tertiary text dark for that one. And hopefully, okay, that looks like the same color. As you can see around here, we have that. So let's do primary text dark for that, because I know that is closer to white. Yep. Yep, we don't need that semicolon. We do need that one. And we don't need... Okay, let's just put that there and delete that line. That's it. Okay, so now all this color.white here I will replace with occupied text color. Great. This background color, what should we put there? Occupied background color equals this dot context dot get color, and I think we should do Android, or maybe we should just do r dot color dots color primary, so that it sticks within the theme. A little bit rusty today. I'm sure it was, is it J? That's it, yeah. Shift and J. Okay, so now we can put that in here. Occupied background color. And these are no longer text color, they are vacant. Let's preview that change and see what happens. Okay, everything looks pretty nice. Happy with that. So 330, we're going to code hard and become the king of code. And yep, we have something that more closely resembles the theme of the application, and the colors look pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So I think we can finally put that one to bed until season 2 of this show, in which I'm going to break my normal habit of completely ignoring the design of any of the applications that I write and leaving it to a designer, and flirt with design in Android. But that is not a job for today, so let's clear this from our to-do list and look at this next point, which is very important. Click behavior in today view should differ if a slot is already assigned. So in this slot, this 330 slot, for now, for the time being, I don't want it to do anything if there's something already there. So if I click this now, it's going to create a duplicate entry in our slot table eventually. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is, in this today adapter, we have this onClick function. And you see we have a to-do here in the code, which should have been labeled properly. If there's a slot assigned, do something different. Now we know that works, so we can get rid of that log entry. So we get the current item, and that gives us the slot. And then we create an intent here, which takes us through to the task activity. But I only want to do that if it's vacant. If it isn't, I want to do something entirely different. So how do we figure out then if this slot is vacant or not? Well, we need to look inside our slot entries, don't we? Or do we? What if we had another... what if we had another field here, a private boolean called is occupied? What if we did that? And then when we create that view and bind data to it, we can set whether it's occupied or not. Is that not right? What is the boolean? There we go. Is occupied. And then down here we could just do if not is occupied. Do that. Else log. That's not how you spell call, is it? Let's do, we'll just write something like, hey there boy, this slot is occupied. And then down here where we do all this great stuff, we can do holder dot is occupied equals true, or holder dot is occupied equals false. Does that work? I'm thinking not, because we seem to have errors in our code. Method call yeah, that is log.i. Where are the errors now? What's this one? So that's to do with the API level. Let's just have a quick Google and see if we can get rid of that error, because it's annoying. Android Studio. Set API level. So it looks like it is in our build.gradle, which is here. And min SDK version. Let's change that to 25, because I believe that is the one. That's there, it's gone. So let's sync now. Okay, so that error is very nicely buggered off. And now let's test the code. How much WPM? Do you mean words per minute? Passenger? You're gonna have to forgive me on the pronunciation of that one. What do you mean by WPM? Okay, so what did we do? We changed it so that if we do this and then go back, we get back to here, but if we do this, nothing happens, and we should get a log entry. Yeah, we did. We got a log entry, so let's, let me just change this to me only, yeah. Okay, that's good. So that's another to-do ticked off. So now we can't mess up by changing things. Yeah, word per minute. Well, I don't know, but I think it decides on how much coffee I've ingested and how much I have to delete because my fingers have got confused and I write things like jog instead of call. Ironically, when I tried to type jog then, it came out as call, so maybe I should just write jog from now on. Okay, so that's another to do. Things are flying. So that we can go. And here, click, yeah, that's fine. Goalless tasks. Okay, so if we look at our slot table here, we may have tasks such as brush teeth or do dishes. Now these activities don't really push us any further towards a goal per se, apart from being healthy or being hygienic. But we don't want to create goals for all those things and track our progress or hours that we've dedicated to those goals. So what we need to do is we need to have an option in this to not have a goal basically in a slot. So this goal could be null. And I think the way to do it is to have a button. If we go to 4 o'clock there, and then we do, let's do something new. Unexpected timestamp or task ID. That's going to be a problem. As we're navigating through things, we're losing the intent. That's a bug, and we need to fix that. Back navigation is killing the intent and associated data or extras. That is a problem. Okay, so let's just go back to here, and then we'll try again. 3 AM. We will something new, and then we need something here. We need something here that says, or a list item that's just in there all the time that just says do not use a goal. Let me think. Would a button be better? Should we put a big button in there? Let's experiment. Let's play. Let's go to layouts, goal, activity goal, and zoom in some. Okay, so here we are. This, for a start, should be 16 away from the edge, and it's not. So there we go. That's better. And this, I need to break that constraint. Why has that happened? Shall I also break that one? Where is the goal list view now? Just break them all. Okay. Let's put in another button. We'll put the button underneath here. We'll constrain it to the top of that one. And then, yep, and then this, we can now hopefully select our goal list view and reconnect it to there. Yeah, okay, that's nice. So this button I'm going to call I'm going to call it, is that just called button? Okay, let's call it goal no goal button. Yes. This, why doesn't this have an ID? Where's our goal activity? Let's have a look down here. Store goal. Oh, perhaps it doesn't need one. Yeah, it doesn't need one, does it? Okay, where were we? There. I think we've got the on-click there, yeah, so let's just call that, let's change that to goal create, or create goal button. Yes, okay. This, I'm going to stretch it out, so I'm going to create 16, 16, and then width is going to be match constraint. What is going on now? I've lost all of my padding. Why has it gone to 8? I want 16. This is by far the most finicky interface building software. Okay, so I have no constraint down here. Perhaps if I select this and then change that to 16, things will look nicer. Save. Button. So this needs text. And in order to add text, we go to strings.xml and we do button no goal. Okay, let's just do that. And then we go back to our XML file, we can change the default text of this to that, no goal, and we can set a click handler as well, but we're not going to do that just yet because we need to write one, and that would be in the goal adapter. Right, so down here, no, it wouldn't be in the goal adapter at all, it would be in the goal activity. Right, so yeah, that's another thing I want to do. When we create a goal, we create the goal because we're going to use it. But what we do at the minute is we add it to the list and then you have to click it in the list. Well, that's annoying. So what I want to do is when you create a goal, it uses it, quite simply. And we'll do that as well today, I think. So store goal. This happens when you click create. It takes whatever is in the text, the edit text field, and then takes the current timestamp for the created, shoves it into the database, populates the list view, and then okay, let's run the app so that we can have a proper look at what this is going to run like. $130. Code hard. No goal. So what I'd like it to do when I press no goal there, I'd like it to just do what we do in the goal adapters click handler. Which is here. Because we should already have in the goal activity a timestamp and a task ID. So let's just copy that out of there. Let's get rid of these two. Let's get rid of that and that and that. And we will copy some of this code. So this is what we want to do. We don't need that intent. We do not need that intent actually. Let's copy that out. Go to our goal activity and create a new function, public void no goal. Okay. Where was it again? Goal activity, there we go. P. And we are going to need, we don't need a context there, do we? No, we don't, because we can just do it from int, because we're already in an activity object. We can get rid of that, and and that can just be start activity. That will just be this, and this here will just be null. We don't need it to be wrapped in that. Yeah. So DB, we don't have DB, we need to get the DB. And so we'll do SQLite database DB equals focus DB. Dot get database. We need to pass that a context, don't we? Yeah. Oh, things are lagging. Things are really laggy here. Let's go down to, are you using Vim bindings in Android Studio? Haha, yes, I am indeed. I'm using a plugin called IdeaVim. And I think I covered it in one of the first episodes of the show. If you go back to the YouTube channel, one of the videos there is called IdeaVim Setup, and it was really easy to do, and I'm so glad I did it. But it is kind of laggy. Everything gets a bit confused. I don't know if it's the autocorrect or the fact that this is written in Java. I don't know. Kind of laggy. When you're used to using NeoVim every single day and not having lag, you do tend to fall over your own feet quite a lot. So what's the problem here? Is that the problem? Yes. Okay, so what that should do then is right into the slot table, timestamp and task ID, which should be up. Let's just GG. Yeah, there they are. Look, timestamp and task ID. Jump back to there, and then send us back. So let's try it. Let's go to our activity goal. Do this, and we'll set the click handler to. Oh, it's not there. Look. How bizarre. Where is it? Ah, it can't be used because it needs this here. I hope. There we go, no goal. Save, run it, and let's see what will happen. 3 AM. We will do something new. There was no goal attached to it. Aha! Something bizarre has occurred. Let's restart the application and see if it still occurs. Yeah, look at this. It's causing a problem because we are not expecting to get null back out of the database, I suspect. So we need to go to our today adapter and figure this one out. We don't need the click handler. What we need is where we bind this. What is happening is this set text somehow is buggered, and what would be really good is if I could have a look at what it actually wrote into the database, because I don't know. Although I can take a good guess by looking at this. Task ID, so we got the task ID, so that should be in there. And there is something somewhere about reading information from the database in this bit of debug your database. The Android SDK includes an SQLite 3 shell that allows you to browse table contents, run SQL commands. Where? You can now use the shell command to issue device commands through ADB. Where's that? Is it here? I don't think it is. That might be a topic for another day. I thought it was going to be simpler. As is always the case with Android development, I always think things are going to be simpler than they are. That is not what I wanted to be looking at. This is timestamp task ID. Null. 1. Okay. Let us then, if we find it here, let us interrogate what it is we found. We'll do slot entries. It'd be so good if I could just dump out a string representation of that cursor row. What can I do with it? With this cursor, I can do all sorts of things. Response set extras on register equals hash code to string. Let's try to string. Log.I call and see what occurs there. Okay, nothing useful, so that's not what we're looking for. Scroll down to string again and see what else is down here. I can't even find to string now. Where was that? Right up there. Look. Get type. Yeah, nothing useful. So let's do slot entries. I'll get string 1 and 2, I think. It stopped. Stopped again. This is curious, isn't it? So let's change back to show application and verbose, and we can see what happened. Fatal exception main. Null pointer exception. How do we check if a row is null? Slot entries dot is null. There we go. So we know now that goal can be null, and we need to know, we know from here the goal name that the column index for goal is 1. So this is causing a problem, because what we actually need to do is around this, if slot entries dot is null and then column index 1, do something different to this. Okay, let's just separate that up a bit so it's a bit cleaner. Set the text color before we do it, and then run that and see if it still breaks. Goalless. But where is our... Oh, Jesus, it's so sensitive. Where is our task name gone? Because we did set one. Let's do it again at 4:30 just to make sure. We will code hard with no goal. Same thing. Is it something to do with the way we're joining the text? Today activity. We do the join here. So, left join goal on that and that. Yeah. Yeah, I think the problem is the join. Because there are two conditions on this. We could do this goal ID here. That could be, it's looking for, can we do a or on a left join? I can't remember. Left join on or. Or is it just a different join? Let's try it without the left. Because I'm a bit hazy on these at the moment, and I don't want to waste all the time on the stream reading. Okay, so that looks like it did something, but not what we expected. Inner join is the same as join, isn't it? Chances are you've already written it. It's the most common type of join. Inner joins return all rows from multiple tables where the join condition is met. Right, so that's not what we're after. Returns all rows from the left-hand table specified in the. That's what we want. We want a left outer join. Yeah. The problem is, if that one isn't met, it isn't doing that one either. I really need to get inside this database and have a look at what we've got in there. Because it shouldn't be null. Let's just check that it's not null. Where are we? Today adapter. R2 log.e call. Whoa. This column should not be null. Otherwise we screwed up somewhere, and we screwed up big. There it is. There it is. It is null. Why? Why is it null? Why is it null? Did we mess up when we... Did we mess up here? I don't think so. Task ID shouldn't be null there, because timestamp isn't. Oh, look at what we are doing here. We're inserting timestamp there, goal ID, task ID, and look at this idiot here. I've put the task ID in the goal ID. Like a fool. Surely that should have been... Right, let's just fix that. And then nuke the database and try again. So we do goal ID first, right? So that's going to be null. And then this one here is the task ID. And then we've got the slot size at the bottom. Let's just make sure we didn't screw that up in the goal adapter as well. So we're doing, yeah, look, we totally screwed up. Goal ID goes in there. And task ID comes after. So now we have a screwed up database. Let's fix that. Okay, apps, there we are. App info, focus, app, storage, clear data. Bye. Home screen and rerun. Okay, so now I should be able to 1 AM. Oh, what happened now? Boolean on a null object reference. What happened? The on-click, something on the on-click. Today adapter, today activity. Here, we did something wrong here. No, that's on create. View holder, right, so it is in the today adapter and it's something in the on-click that we screwed up. There. Ah, of course. Down here, we set is occupied, right? But we didn't do it if there's an else clause here. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do that, and it might be, yeah, actually there is. We just set it in the constructor instead. So we'll do down here. This is the constructor, and we should always make sure that is occupied is false when it gets initialized, and that should cause us to have a hassle-free boot this time. Yeah. Okay, so 1:30. New task. The task is going to be goalless, and it's going to be sleep. No goal. There we go. Sleep, goalless. At, we're not going to do anything at 2:30. At 7 AM, we are going to code hard. And that is going to be, that's not going to be goalless, that's going to be become the iron fist of code. Great. Okay, so let's tidy this up by adding some string there that we can recognize as, well, just because that looks crap and it's not the correct way to do things, we will do today title, today list, no goal, laziness. Probably, yeah, let's do goalless, no goal. And then we'll need to use that, so we'll need to do that in our today adapter. And down here, r.string dot no goal or goalless. That one. You can get rid of this now, should it never happen. Yeah. What the hell? There. Cleaner? Yes, cleaner. No goal. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. What was the next thing I wanted to sort out? We've done goalless tasks, and that was it. That was it. It was when we create something to just do it. So it will be, we'll start with tasks. Let me just, that's what we need to do there. That's done. Create a goal, it uses it, and likewise with task. That's what we'll do now, if we've got time. So let's start with task then. I guess we'll need to create the intent, pass the extra. Yeah, so we need task activity. And click create here. Instead of populating the list view, we need to use what we've just entered into. We need to pass those two straight through. So we need to create a new intent. Let's get rid of that. I'm not sure whether we need to do this either. Yeah. Let's comment those lines out for now. And once we've done the insert, we will create a new intent. Equals new intent, and then the context will be this, and it will be the goal activity dot class. We will put the extras in that we do. What does the goal activity expect on create? Timestamp and task ID, and those are integers. Task activity, there we go, yeah. So we'll do intent dot put extra, name, timestamp, that's going to be Unix time, task ID, is that all lowercase? Uppercase I, slight failure there, it's shift and that's it. That's going to be task. That just gives a task name though. It doesn't give us the ID. We need to get the ID after we do it. How do we do that? Do we do a select? Does this give us the row ID? Let's have a look at exec SQL. Android SQLite exec SQL. Let's just do Android SQLite last insert ID. Just make sure there isn't a simple way to do this. Okay, so if we use the insert method, it returns the ID of the newly created row. We should probably do that. Insert string table, string null column hack, optional, maybe null. Doesn't allow empty row without naming at least one column name. Values. Okay, let's try then. db.insert table is going to be task, null, and values. The keys should be the column names and the content values. What is this? I've never seen it before. Really failing at Vim today, guys. So content values, values equals new content values. Is that right? Will that do? Int size, size is just going to be 2. Is that okay? Can I do that? No, I need to find the constructor. Constructor. I guess that should be okay then. And then we'll do values.set, .add, .push, .put. String key is going to be name and value task name. And then we've got created, that's going to be Unix time. Ah, see, we nearly screwed up again because timestamp is not Unix timestamp, it's timestamp. And that's this.timestamp. Okay, created Unix time, and what else? Frequency. Frequency. And that is going to be 0. And then in here we can do values. And that should give us int row ID equals db.insert there. Values. Okay, what is the problem? Long. It gives us a long. Of course it does. Because row ID can be a very big number. If we do that instead of this here, then fingers crossed, we'll be able to use that row ID here, and everything will be good. This may also solve our, although I doubt it, it may solve our problem with SQL injection. So let's check that. Does db.insert protect against injection attacks? I'm conscious that we are running out of time here, so I'm going to try and speed up. And then we'll do start activity, intent, and that should send through everything that is required to the goal activity, hopefully. Let's try it. Here we go, 2 AM, new task. The task is going to be snore. It worked, I think. No goal. Something didn't work. Something didn't work because we didn't identify the task name after. Is it because this db.insert should return the row ID, surely? Echo stop. returns the row ID of the newly inserted row on -1 if an error occurred. So let's do log.i call, and then we'll do string.format row ID came back as %d row ID. What's the problem? Is that because it's long? Yeah. Do we cast it as an int, or do we do... Can't remember the printf string for long. LD. What is the problem? What's going on? Cannot be applied to long. That's why. Try that. Okay, so at 1 AM we'll try snow loud. Load loud. Okay, now we have an error. What is the error? String format, so it gets through the format. Perform click, so what's this? Internal calls, 2 or more. Maybe I was just trying to be too smart with that, and I should have just tried to do something like this. Excuse me. Okay, we are coming to the end of the stream, guys, so if you've got any questions for me about today's episode, now's the time to ask, because there's a slight delay on the feed. Blah, blah. Unexpected timestamp or task ID. So the row ID came back as 5. Task ID expected to be integer, but value was long. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. And actually, we probably should have a long for task ID. Although honestly, I really doubt that anyone's going to have enough tasks to fill a 64-bit integer. Now there's no way. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just cast it as an integer and see if that solves the problem. So, where is it? So, long row ID. I'm going to do int row ID, and I'm going to do int and cast it as an integer, because I sincerely doubt that anybody is ever going to have enough tasks in their database for that to cause an issue. Okay, let's try that. "1 AM. Wake in a sweat," which is what I do every night because of Java. Okay, no goal. That worked. Okay, so that's good. We've streamlined our process to some degree, and we will finish off. Should we do it now? Yeah, let's get rid of those, because I don't want to do them anymore. Oh, whoops. I will do the last one for goal activity. Or maybe I won't, will I? I'll do it while it's fresh in my mind. Yeah, we'll run over slightly for 5 minutes today, and I can answer your questions then. So in click create for goal activity, down here instead of populating the list view, we'll just use it. So all of this again needs to go away. This needs to become an insert, so we'll need content values. Values equals new content values, and the length will be 2. And we can do values dot put the key name and the will be goal name. We will have created, and that will be Unix time. That will give us our will it? Yeah, so that'll do this and give us a row ID. If we do db.insert goal, null, and values, and we're gonna cast that as an integer again. It's gonna be int row ID equals that. So that will be our row ID of our newly created goal, and then we're gonna do what we do inside the goal adapter, which is write to the slot table. And at some point, because I'm doing the same thing in 2 different places, I will abstract it, well not abstract it, but I will create a function and do it that way. Right, let's put these 2 things together so it's easier for me. Goal adapter, this is what we want to do. We want to do this. Insert into slot, timestamp goal ID, task ID to slot size. This is going to be timestamp, which we have. Do we need to string it? Should we do this? You know, we probably should. We should do content values, slot values equals new content values, size of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do slot values dot put timestamp, this dot timestamp. This one is going to be goal ID, and that's going to be the row ID that we just created. This one's going to be task ID, and that's going to be this dot task ID, and the last one is going to be slot size, which for the time being is going to be 1. And then we'll do, instead of this insert SQL, we will do insert and slot values. No. Table first. Slots. Null table hack. You know things are bad when you've got to put a hack in there. And slot values. And then we go new intent. That's going to be this. And then we don't need any of that. We can just start activity from right inside here. Okay, does that work? Hopefully. Let's test it. We will create something new at 2:30. We'll create a new task. We'll do it all, in fact, you know, we'll do sleep here. And then here, we'll create a new goal. And the goal is to rejuvenate or revitalize. American spelling, of course. Create. And it worked. Look at that. That is a much cleaner workflow. I really like that. But because we're doing the same thing in 2 places, I think the next thing we need to do is create functions for duplicate functionality inside the onClick and create goal/task functions. Okay, that's good. And we'll put that there. Great. Really happy with that. So now I will answer your questions. We have a question from GOMMB9 or GOMB9. Why aren't new task and new goal hints rather than text you have to delete before typing? Good question. Let's have a look. Where would it be? There? There. So we have, hints. Okay, let's get rid of text then. Let's change hint to new goal. And text to D. Save that. Run it. Go there. Code hard. It's still there. Something I did wrong. Maybe apply. Still there. How do I get rid of the text? Let's have a look at the XML. Create goal button. Edit text here. Hint is there. Text is not. Not sure. Activity task. Let's try this one. So if we change text to hint, and then save all, run. Nice. Excellent suggestion there. Thank you, GOMB9. That is a great suggestion. Lovely. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Alright, so that answers all the questions for tonight. We've been through our to-do list, and the last thing to do is for us to check everything into our version control. There we are. So this is the end of episode 15. And wow, we seem to have broken everything. End of S01E15. We've done quite a lot today. We prevented defaults, prevented clicking on occupied slots, fixed some color, default color and string things. We streamlined the workflow when it comes to the creation of new tasks and new goals, and we also allowed for goalless tasks. Great. Commit it. There we go. So as always guys, I will try to get this video uploaded to YouTube as soon as possible. For those of you who missed out earlier, if you go to Coding with Carl on YouTube, all the previous episodes of this show are in the 0 to Android playlist here, and you are welcome to watch them. I recommend doing it by setting the speed to 2 times because I speak quite slowly, and you should be able to get used to it once your brain adapts. Until tomorrow, or maybe the day after, thank you very much, and take care. Bye.